Today, friends, I am overjoyed and very happy to be sharing with you one of my favorite new art products. Today, we are taking a look at the Joy Traveler brush set from Paintcrush by Kristy Rice. Now, I've had the opportunity to use many of Kristy's latest product releases, and I've been thoroughly pleased with everything that I've had the opportunity to experience. So in this video, we are going to crack open this travel brush set. We're going to take a look at the brushes that they're modeled after. We'll do a little work with them, try out a few marks, paint a demo, and give you the opportunity to see these brushes in work. I'm super excited about this, and I'm hoping that you will grab your art supplies and paint along for some creative fun. Here we have the Joy Traveler travel brush system, not to be mistaken for the Joy Chaser travel brush. And I'll go ahead and say that all of the products that I show you in the video today will be listed in the video description in case anything piques your interest. Now, Paintcrush as a company has had several different brush releases. So I want to take you a release back to the drop of the Forget Rules, Forget Right, Remember Joy brush system. Now, this came in a canvas bag, which was really straightforward, beautiful illustration, very positive messaging on the front. Inside the canvas bag was included 6 different brushes. I'll run through these really quickly so that you'll know what they were. First, you had the Unshakable Joy 1/4 inch wash brush. You had the Forget Rules 1/2 inch dagger brush. You had the Happy Painting number 2 round. Of course, the number 1 liner, Remember Joy, the number 1 Cat's Tongue, Watercolor Curious, and was considered probably the most versatile brush of all the ones Paintcrush produces, the Art for Joy's Sake 1/4 inch dagger brush. Now, these were actually a really wonderful set of brushes, and to this day, I use them on a very regular basis, probably about 90% of the time. You can find a review for these on the channel. Simply search Paintcrush Review, and you'll get a list of videos showing you reviews on all of the products that I've had the opportunity to kind of test and review here in the studio from the Paintcrush company. Now, ironically enough, of these 6 brushes that are included here, 3 of them became super popular. And of those 3 were the number 1 liner, Remember Joy, the number 1 Cat's Tongue, Watercolor Curious, and of course, the Art for Joy's Sake's 1/4 inch dagger. Now, that's not to say that the other 3 weren't great, because again, I do use these brushes about 90% of the time, but these were the 3 probably most versatile, most useful across all types of subject painting brushes, if that makes sense. So Paintcrush decided that because these were the most useful brushes, they were going to design around these brushes a travel system that artists would be able to use and take them on the go. That's not to say that you can't travel with these brushes, but it's much more hard, should I say, to carry brushes with you that aren't travel brush designed and keep the bristles safe. So Paintcrush released the Joy Traveler travel brush system. Just like the Joy Chaser, it comes in its own felt casing carrier, which folds in half and is secured on the front with a golden snap. On the inside, you are going to find 3 travel brushes that in classic Paintcrush style is constructed of the rose gold metal barrels. So I'm going to go ahead and remove those, and as you can see, their felt holder does have divides in it, so each brush is in its own little section, which is pretty cool. Now, these 3 travel brushes, being based around the most popular ones from the set I just showed you, of course, are the number 1 liner brush, the number 1 Cat's Tongue, and the one that's considered the most versatile, the 1/4 inch Art for Joy's Sake dagger brush. As you can see, these are all capped travel brushes. They are not the screw-on type. However, they are very secure. I have not had any issues at all with capping or uncapping them. And with being a travel brush, they of course can be reinserted into their barrel for travel purposes to help protect the actual bristles of your brush. I think these are a wonderful design. Of course, beautifully designed, as you would expect from Paintcrush. You get your rose gold ferrule as well. And if you don't know much about the engineering of Kristy's brushes, the reason I take to them so much is because she's personally involved in each aspect of the design of the brush, from the choosing of the metal, the color, the ferrules, the ferrule length, the brush, the bristles, bristle length, the bristle density. She really takes pride into making sure that she has say-so in the construction of the entire product. And that's one reason that I personally support her. Now, don't let any of my opinions sway or dissuade you. Please, by all means, take the information you find in this video to make your own informed decision. But I personally am a fan of the products, so I'll just get that out of the way at this point. Now, of course, as I told you earlier, they come in their very own sectionals inside that carrying case. And one of the wonderful things I've discovered about it is that the number 6 round Joy Chaser, which was the original travel brush release, again, rose gold barrel, rose gold ferrule, and this is probably my favorite travel brush ever, simply because it comes to one of the most razor sharp extreme points I've ever seen on a brush. I absolutely love it. And as an added bonus, it will actually fit into the carrying case beside the number 1 liner brush, so that you can carry all 4 of those travel brushes in one carrying case if you by chance happen to have that particular travel brush as well. But it is not included inside the Joy Traveler brush system. It is its own brush sold separately, and like I said, it will be included in the video description as well, just in case you decide you want to grab you one or you want to gift one, whatever the case may be. So what I want to do at this point is kind of get into using the brushes. Let's crack open some paint. Let's pull open these brushes. Let's make some marks with them. Let's see the type of line work, line weight, just the type of painting that we can do. Now, for testing purposes, I am going to be using the Paintcrush actual paint palette. This is the Making Art for Joy's Sake half pan watercolor palette. There's 12 colors in here, and of course they are originally designed and produced so under the Paintcrush brand. So that's the paints we're going to be using. I am using a 100% cotton 140 pound cold press watercolor paper. This is Bendy DeSize watercolor sketchbook. I did do a bit of an overview of this paper inside a video that came out a couple of days ago. It was with the Roman Smalls paint. So you can go find that and check it out as well if you're interested in a little more information about the paper. So we are going to test these brushes out, my friends. We are going to make us some marks and just let you see where you could possibly go with these. Of course, your imagination is your limit. You're only limited by yourself. All right, so we're gonna start off a brush at a time. I'm gonna grab something to label with here. We'll just use a pencil, and let's get into this. First up, we are taking a look at the number 1 liner brush. I have found this to be one of the most handy brushes, especially when it comes to thin, consistent lines and floral work. The bristles are a bit longer than most liners I have used, which makes it wonderful for a brush load of paint going much further than one might think. As expected of a liner, it has a very nice point, and because it is made of golden Teflon bristles, it springs back into shape with ease. It was very useful for getting super thick, easy marks on the paper that could be used to represent grass, veins and leaves, and flowers, and many other subjects calling for thin line work. I found it especially useful in many different projects, and it helps to contribute to less work because it holds more paint. Next, we're looking at the number one cat's tongue brush. It's fair to say that the cat's tongue brush is one of my favorite all-around brushes regardless of brands. However, Paintcrush's number one cat's tongue has short, compact, dense, golden Teclon bristles that are absolutely wonderful for color mixing and water control. Brushes like this not only serve as a round due to its sharp point, but the belly of the brush helps to cover more surface area when pressure is applied to it. Due to being great at water control, this brush is also wonderful for mediums like watercolor crayons and watercolor pencils that tend to wash away if you have too much water on your brush. You can get really useful marks with this brush, from extremely fine lines to one stroke small leaves when used the right way. The one stroke small leaf capability is what I like the most about cat tongue with a smaller head like this one. Last but not least, we have the Art for Joy's Sake quarter-inch dagger brush. Commonly referred to as the Queen Bee by its designer, this brush is more than meets the eye. Another brush with a super sharp point that mimics a lot of the properties of a round, flat, or an angle brush, all seemingly rolled into one. Now, this brush also has golden Teclon bristles. However, it does hold a bit more water than your average golden Teclon brush would. Now, this gives the brush the unique capability to carry full loads of paint, lessening the chances of having to reload as much as you would with other brushes, all while giving the versatility of several different brush heads at once, from stems to petals to leaves, with a dramatic crossover into landscapes, still lifes, and loose watercolor. This brush simply seems to tick all of the boxes. After experiencing this brush as much as I have in its original form and as a travel brush, I have to admit that in most cases, it is all you will need. All right, folks, it is time to jump into a time-lapse demo. But before we get started, let me just mention one thing. I did add an extra brush to complete the sky. For that, I used the 3/4 inch flat wash brush from one of Paintcrush's other sets. Now, I needed something a little bigger to cover the area I was starting with. Other than that, I will be sticking to the travel set brushes for the rest of the painting. Now, I just wanted to take a moment to show you how these brushes actually perform. Yep, that's a landscape I'm painting. Now, throughout the demo, you will see me switching between the three brushes. I made sure to use all of them throughout the entire process. And just a quick shout out to the 1/4 inch dagger brush. It is an absolute powerhouse. I can't get over how well balanced these brushes are. I mean, seriously, I feel like it's an extension of my hand rather than just a tool. But hey, that is just my opinion now. Don't expect the most mind-blowing landscape ever here, but I do think it's enough to demonstrate how effective these brushes are. Plus, it's something anyone can recreate and feel pretty proud of. And no worries, friend. I am not going to narrate the whole demo. I'll let the music take over, but don't go anywhere because I'll catch you on the other side with some final thoughts. That, my friends, is the Joy Traveler Travel Brush System. I really enjoy putting this video together. I really enjoy doing the little quick demo with you guys. I really do like these brushes. Now, of course, everything that you've heard in this video is strictly my opinion, and I am just hoping that something I've said you can now take and apply it to what you do in your world and determine whether or not these brushes are something that's good for you. Now, let's talk price. We're looking at $42 for the complete brush system. Of course, that's the carrying pouch and the 3 rose gold brushes, golden Teflon heads. Over on Amazon, they are listed for $42. So if you are a Prime member and you want to get them there, of course you can. But you can also get them on the Paintcrush website. It's KristyRice.com, and order them directly from the company itself, and it is still $42 there as well. So you will have to check both sites and weigh which one would be best for you if you decide you want to add these to your art collection. I'm going to have the link for both websites in the video description, so you'll be able to make your choice if you so choose to. Now, if I had to give these brushes a rating of 1 to 5 on a star scale, as I do with most things I review, this is probably going to be one of the first products that I actually give 5 stars. Simply because I personally happen to know the type of work that went into designing these brushes. But even if I didn't, I love the way they look. I love the way they feel in my hand. As I said earlier in the video, I think they're well balanced. I like the fact that they are a golden Teflon brush, so they will help you with water control depending on the one you use. I also like the fact that the bristles are a little bit longer on the liner, that it holds or carries more of a paint load. So all of those things play into the type of things that I like. More specifically, I love the fact that they're travel brushes and I can take them with me on the go, or I can use them here in the studio. So there you have it, friends. There is my thought, my opinion on the Joy Traveler system. I think that, you know, you can't be going wrong. You won't be going wrong, should I say, with them. I would definitely, if asked, I would say, yes, I recommend the brushes. So hopefully you have found something helpful in this video that is gonna lend to you being able to make an informed decision, or you just enjoyed hanging out for the painting demo, whatever the case may be. Don't forget to sprinkle a little love and give this video a thumbs up. If you choose, share the video, because sharing is caring, and it's going to help the algorithm push it in front of other wonderful viewers like yourself. Jump in the comment section and let me know, have you used the brushes? What do you think of the brushes? Do you think it's something you'll be interested in? And on that note, I will also add, if by chance you should ever have an issue with any Paintcrush products, do not hesitate to reach out to their customer service. Kristy and her team runs a really tight customer service loop, and they will do whatever it takes, you know, to rectify any issues. So never, ever, ever hesitate to do that. You can check the video description for all of the relevant links. Don't forget that if you are new here, or if you're returning and you haven't subscribed, hit that subscription button and that notification bell so you know when we go live and when we upload. The link for the Defyantarts website, all of the social media sites, the most recommended product list, and the artist wish list are all in the video description. So don't forget to check those out. And friends, remember, as I tell you at the end of every single video, just keep creating.